the post-Mauryan period. Okay. Now, students, when we talk about the post-Mauryan period, you know that there is presence of multiple small dynasties. Now, my question to you is that, do you think that despite the fact that there are so many small dynasties and not a big centralized power, do you think that the trade is flourishing as much as it was flourishing in the Mauryan period? What do you think? This is the time period wherein we were at the best stage in terms of trade. Even if there were many small powers in the country, irrespective of that, if you compare the ancient Indian period, one of the most amazing phases of trade is the post-Mauryan period. The reason being, let me tell you, we have two main areas, North and South India. North India and South India. In North India, especially the area which was under the Kushans, which is the north and northwestern area. In that area, in the post-Mauryan period, a specific route started, which was known as the Silk Route. Technically, if you talk about the Silk Route, it incorporates West Asia on one side and China on other side. All the area in between was actually in control of the Kushana dynasty. So we were quite smart when it came to trading. We used to get silk from them. Major export item was silk. So we were getting silk from China and we were trying to sell it in the Western Asian Roman empires. Now, in between, what we used to do, we used to charge both the sides a lot of tolls and caravans, the caravan tolls. There was a lot of taxes which were involved on the Silk Route, and the major chunk of Silk Route was in the hands of Kushan. Hence, trade was not only flourishing, it was almost at its peak, students. We were minting a lot of money. All right. Apart from that, who are we doing the trade with? We are doing trade with the Roman Empire. Roman Empire Western Asia तक फैला हुआ था. Greeks की बात करें, हमारा second urbanization का period था, उस time पे Alexander वगैरह Greek Empire फैला हुआ है. Then we have the Roman Empire. Have you heard names of Augustus, Caesar? Yes. So in that context, students, you will see that the Roman Empire has a lot of part in Western Asia under their name. It is these people that we are trading with through the Silk Route. Moreover, they have many things to offer. Don't we have a lot of things to offer? We have number one, spices. We have precious, semi-precious stones. We have ivory, which had a huge demand. What is ivory? Teeth of elephant. It's a very expensive material. These days, it's illegal. So, ivory हो गई, seashells हो गए, pearls हो गए, बहुत सारी चीजें थी ऐसी जो हम खुद भी ऑफर कर रहे थे. तो हम सिल्क रूट की वजह से नॉर्थ की तरफ बहुत पैसा कमा रहे हैं. ट्रेड किससे हो रही है? रोमन से ट्रेड चल रही है हमारी एक तरफ. साउथ की तरफ आते हैं. When we talk about Deccan and Deep South, first of all, do you think maritime trade is happening? Give me a substantial point for that. Ma'am, we have a ruler known as Yajnashri Satkarni who had coins which depicted ship, and it may have been used for maritime trading. So indeed, students, in the Deep South and Deccan, one of the major advantages is the trade that we have from the sea bases, especially with the Southeast Asian countries. However, at this point of time, the Deccan and Deep South states, which is your Satavahanas plus Cholas plus Cheras plus Pandyas, all of them were again trading with the Romans, and this was maritime trade. The Romans are trading with them. How do we know that? We know it because we have a lot of Roman travelers who have written down the trading aspects between the Indian subcontinent and the Roman Empire. We have writers such as Pliny, Strabo, Arrian, who are, this is Arrian, who are actually writing down the trading and the export items that these people are taking from India. In fact, students, it will be very important to note that why I again quote that the post-Mauryan period is one of the most golden ages in terms of trade. Pliny, who is a writer, this guy has written a book. In that book, he is telling us that the Indians were giving us spices, especially this area. Which was the spice which is most popular amongst the Romans? It was black pepper. This black pepper was so precious, it was treated as black gold in Europe. We were giving them kali mirchi, and in return, we were taking gold from them. So the trading was something wherein you are giving them black pepper and in return you are getting gold. Pliny was lamenting this fact in his books that on the account of black pepper trade, there is drain of gold from Roman Empire to India. In that context, you can understand the extent of trade which is happening in this particular time period. So here you will write in the south wala part, you will write that we were having extensive trade with the Romans. In the south part, you will write, bullet point mein likhenge, extensive trade with the Romans, attested in the works of Pliny, Strabo, Arrian, etc. In front of Pliny, you will write, Pliny lamented. What is lament? What do we mean by lament? Sad ho raha hai wo, dukhi hai. He is lamenting something. So Pliny lamented the drain of gold from Roman Empire to India on account of black pepper trade. जहां हमने North India लिखा है, वहां पर आप लिखेंगे trade flourishing due to silk route whose large parts were under the control of Kushan. इसके अलावा students आप देखेंगे Roman gold and silver coins are found across India. हमें कैसे पता चल रहा है कि भाई रोमन से ट्रेड चल रही है? हमारे को कुछ reasons तो चाहिए. Apart from literary text, we also need archaeological specimens to kind of finalize ki yes, there was indeed a lot of trade happening. In that context, we have found these hoards of Roman coins, and these Roman coins are gold coins and silver coins. Gold coins are known as aurei and silver coins are known as denarius. Aurei and denarius are found across India as a part of Roman trade. Let's also talk about ports. Which ports were important at this point of time? So on the west coast, or the ports that were used by the people of this area include Broch and Sopara. On the west coast, if you'll see students, both of them are in Gujarat. So on the western coast, two important ports were Broch and Sopara. On the eastern coast, in Bengal, we have Tamralipti, and in Pondicherry, we have Arika Medu. Homework for you guys. 100 words write up on each port. Why do I say that? Or what will be your focus? Sometimes what happens, let's say there's a Roman traveler, he specifically talks about a port and says that, you know, this was the most important port for us and we used to take this stuff from there. So this is how you have to research about it. While you do the research for the ports, the keywords that you can attach to each and every port can be IGNU. Google में अपन करते हैं ना, नाम लिखा उसके आगे keyword attach करते हैं कि भाई उसका article आ जाए. So we have IGNU, we have NIOS, we have Britannica.com, or you can search for PIB, Press Information Bureau. This is the correct way of researching. Sometimes what happens is not everyone who is creating the content may have had an academic background of history. So if they are using one source, they will see it as absolute and they may copy certain dates or facts which may have a possibility of getting changed. That is why the problem with history is that you need to read history only from the books of historians. If you read it in notes points, like we do it in geography or polity, those are factual, those are concepts, but history is a story and every aspect of history is debatable. Hence, reading history from historians is very important. आप देखेंगे हमारे पास में यूपीएससी में हर सब्जेक्ट की एक गाइड बुक है, जैसे लक्ष्मीकांत हो गई और उसके अलावा रमेश सिंह हो गई इकोनॉमी में. लेकिन हिस्ट्री में एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू आर ऑलवेज टोल्ड टू रीड आर.एस. शर्मा, Satish Chandra. Why? Because these are historians and it is much better to read the book of a historian instead of crisp notes because you will not be able to connect anything. All right. So the write-ups that you do ever for history, the best idea would be to use these sources, because if you use these sources, there are chances that UPSC also makes questions from here, apart from your NCERT. So the facts here will be correct. चलिए, तो हमारे पास में 4 पोर्ट आ गए हैं. 4 पोर्ट के नाम बता दिए मैंने आपको. 2 इधर है, दो इधर है. Apart from that, let's also talk about the items of trade. Let's also talk about the items of trade. Now, students, when we talk about the trading items, it will be very important to note that it doesn't really matter what we are exporting. The idea is that what are we getting in return? We have already pointed out that there were multiple things that we were exporting. In that, the most important thing that we are giving is spices. So the most important item of export for us was spices. However, in return, what are we getting? We are getting Roman gold and silver coins, known as aurei and denarius. Apart from that, you will find a lot of Roman pottery and glass. You will also find a lot of Roman pottery and glass found in different parts of India. However, there is an exception. This exception is, students, there is a specific type of Roman pottery which is known as maritime ware. ये जो specific type of pottery है, this is only found in South India. Anomaly statement. Hence, let's convert it into a question. Consider the following statements. Maritime pottery associated with the Romans has been found across India. True or false? False. It is only found in South India. It's an anomaly statement. Hence, we highlight such kind of things. Keeping that in mind, students, we have understood the trade aspect. Since it's an anomaly and generally what you will think, अच्छा छोटे-छोटे empire हैं, शायद हमारे पास trade इतनी अच्छी होगी नहीं. But then we have just broken that myth, wherein we have understood that despite the fact that there is no centralized power, it is one of the most gold and most flourishing periods of Indian history in terms of trade. We have maritime trade going. We have land route trade going, maritime with the Romans by Cholas, Chiras, Pandyas and Satavahanas. Land route, Silk route, and it's mostly occupied by the Kushan. Moreover, the number of gold coins that we have found in India, which belongs to the Romans, simply attest that there's a lot of flourishing trade. So this is, we used to export to them spices, and in return, we have got pottery, glass. We also used to import wine. So all the good things for us, money and wine, and in return, we give them Kali Mirchi.